All right. So welcome everybody that's here. Thank you for coming in to chat with us on Coach's Corner, the spring cleaning edition. And if you are on here and you're able to, please put in the chat where you are calling in from. And I see Crystal has already done that from San Diego. Hey, Crystal, welcome. Hey, welcome. All right. So go ahead and put that in the chat and we'll go ahead and get started. Um, Hi, and welcome to Coach's Corner. It's your dish diva, Erin Taylor, coming to you guys from the Black Women's Health Imperative. I'm a lifestyle coach and a master trainer for our lifestyle change programs, which we like to call Change Your Lifestyle, Change Your Life, or for short, CYL squared. So you'll hear me mention CYL squared a lot through this discussion. And our CYL Squared programs, for those of you that don't know, are culturally tailored to address the unique needs of Black women. So, why am I telling you all of this? Well, because joining me today are two other lifestyle coaches that are part of the CYL Squared family. And together we're going to be doing a little spring cleaning. Yeah.
Mm.
So, hey, Keisha, hey, Terry. I will have
Hey,
you guys,
hi
hi.
y'all.
I will have you guys go and introduce yourselves. We'll just start with Kisa because you're at the top of my screen, and just introduce
Okay.
yourself, where you're from, and then how long you've been a lifestyle coach.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Kisa Daniels. Some people call me Coach Kiki. And I am originally from Houston, Texas. Well, just outside of born in Houston, raised out in Baytown, Texas, which is about 20 miles southeast of Houston. But I have been a Georgia peach living in Georgia for nearly 30 years. So I live in Conyers, Georgia, which is about 20 miles southeast of Atlanta. And I've been a lifestyle coach with Black Women's Health Imperative for 4 years now. And I have facilitated the diabetes prevention program. I have facilitated the diabetes self management support program. And currently, I am facilitating the Family Healthy Weight program. And I absolutely love it. Love being able to see people change their lives through lifestyle change. So, welcome, everybody.
Thank you, Kisa. All right, Terry, how about you introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. I am Terry Lynn Roberts, or Coach Terry. I am from the big old town of Lafayette, Louisiana, here in the South. I've been a BWHI lifestyle coach for 4 years now. I've gone on 4 years, and I'm also a master trainer and newly DSMS coach. So good to see you all. I love physical activity, promoting health and wellness all around, and so I'm excited today.
Awesome. Well, thank you, ladies, for joining me. I love doing this. And just so you guys know, Coach Niambi will also be joining us towards the end of our discussion, and she's going to help us out with our chat about self-care, which is a huge topic. But this evening, we're excited to talk all about spring cleaning. Not the spring cleaning that involves cleaning out your closets or deep cleaning your laundry room. We are here to invite you to think about spring cleaning on a whole nother level. We are focusing on refreshing some personal habits and routines that can help you stay on track with your health goals. And there might be a little cleaning involved, but only the type of cleaning that aligns with your health and wellness goals. Okay. If you have any questions or comments during the chat, please feel free to put, or during the discussion, please feel free to put them in the chat. Or if you have a comment or just want to add to the conversation, please use that chat feature. I can see some of you guys are already in there telling us where you're from. So that's cool. So if for those of you who had just joined, if you want to do the same, go ahead and tell us where you're calling in from. We'd love to give a shout out. I see San Diego, Southern California,
Yeah,
Colorado, Washington, D.C. All right, all right. Oh, and I guess I should
love
tell you
it.
guys where I am. I'm in Hawaii. Been here for about 2.5 years, and so that does affect my spring cleaning as well, because spring is a little different over here than it would be, say, in at Georgia or Louisiana. So welcome everybody. So happy to have you here. And I guess we're ready to get started. All right. So for everyone that's listening, I'm so happy you guys are here and joining us here. And as lifestyle coaches who deliver our CYL squared program, part of our focus is on food and physical activity. Within all of our programs, that's always one of the two top things that we talk about. So I think we should just start the conversation here around nutrition and food. And we're not really focusing on cleansing the body, but on how the kitchen, our safe space for nutrition and food plays a role in staying on track with our health goals.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to throw the first question to you, Kisa. 'Cause
Okay.
I kind of have an idea. I don't know. I thought this was going to be appropriate for you, but how does it make you feel when your kitchen is a mess?
She started with me, y'all, because she knows that this question is highly appropriate for me. Well, I feel anxious, and I think a lot of people do. And sometimes you may not even know that that's the cause of your anxiety. But it's kind of like, people like to think of the kitchen as the heart of the home. And so I
Mhm.
think when the heart is not beating properly, so to speak, things are just kind of off balance. And so I feel anxious. It happened the other day. There are three adults. I'm the mom of three sons, and I have an adult son living with me, and my husband. And he's a consumer. He buys a lot of product, and it ends up in the pantry, and I can't see behind. And I shouldn't be throwing him out there like that. But then combined with what my husband and I buy, sometimes it just gets very cluttered. And I am not, it's not an incentive for me to cook, honestly, when there's so much clutter in the refrigerator, when you cannot see. And so sometimes you just have to hit pause and just clear it out. And, you're talking expired things and
Mhm.
things that have shamedly, that kind of rotted at the back of the refrigerator. And so you ask me, though, the original question is, how does it make me feel? It makes me feel unsettled. It makes me feel off-centered, just that low-level anxiety, and a lot more takeout is happening when the
Mhm.
kitchen is cluttered and kind of not, functioning as a kitchen
Mhm.
should function.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Mhm.
Terry, do you have anything to add to that? Like, how do you feel if your kitchen is a mess?
I agree because I do not I can't cook if it's cluttered, right? I can't cook if
Yeah.
there's dishes in the sink and it's so crazy because I will spend 15 minutes cleaning dishes, getting everything ready so that whenever we come home, I don't see dishes in the sink because if I do, I'm fussing. Who left a bowl in the sink? Who did
Right.
this? But I don't like when it's like you said, I'm unsettled and I get very anxious. And I guess, my nerves and my patience is very, very short when not in a good space because of clutter or, just extra stress that we don't need. And that's exactly how it makes me feel.
Hmm.
Yes, yes, yes. And I see there's a comment in there. Me too. I like a clean kitchen. And I mean, I
As
Hmm.
get
clean
that.
as you
So,
cook.
and yeah, and that kind of goes into all the spaces we're in, right? So if things are unorganized. If at work, if you were to operate like that, you would not get anything done. So just kind
Absolutely.
of thinking about that when it comes to your health goals, we have to make sure that our space for the healthy foods and all of that stuff is kept in order. Okay. Well, and then speaking of, the disarray and Kisa, maybe you can speak to this a little bit more right now, especially because it's a challenge for you. How are you organizing your kitchen, or what are you trying to do to make it more organized with your
Yeah.
son being there?
So the foundation is there for organization. It's just, the people who live with me are just not really inclined to get in line. So that helps. The foundation is there, Erin. So it's just a matter of unbusying myself and onboarding the help of other people, soliciting the help, I should say, to say, hey, do you want this? And I mean, and I kind of get into that space, which, and we're being real, right? So I'm a little resentful sometimes when I'm doing this because I'm thinking, you see this in here. This is yours. And but I sometimes if it's bothering you, I remember a girlfriend telling me years ago, she said, if it's bothering you, then pick up the shoes. And I was like, I don't know. I don't want to do that, but it's true. So I kind of have to jumpstart the process of taking everything out of the refrigerator, everything out of the pantry. And I did this past, I think it was this past weekend. Um, Not totally, because again, the infrastructure is there, but just things that I know that have just been sitting in there, putting them on the counter. asking the other folk in the house, to make a decision, and me making a decision. They're not the only ones. I also have things in there that either I bought it, but I don't really like it. So you really have to just kind of, it's a process. Just, say that you're going to spend, once you start, here's the thing, it does not take that long. Especially you're motivated, you're highly, it doesn't take that long. So just taking everything out, putting it on the counter and making a decision about does it stay or does it go. So that's a very practical thing that I do. I just did it.
I love that. And it really is about kind of communicating with the whole family,
Yeah.
whoever's using that space, and making sure everybody's under that understanding that, okay, not everything needs to be in here, or when you're done with it, if you know you're not going to eat anymore, throw it out, all
Yeah.
of that. And I think one other thing that plays a role, now I conducted a meal planning challenge a few years ago, and
Hmm.
cleaning up the kitchen was the first thing we did.
Yes,
And
I
I did
remember
a
that.
video, and you can see it on our YouTube page, the Black Women's Health Imperatives YouTube page. It's like me cleaning up the clutter. Man, I did this. I
Mhm.
had one of those little turning
Lazy
cabinets.
Susans. Yeah, lazy Susans.
And yes, and I cleaned out that thing. I mean, because it kept getting stuck because things would fall off and you couldn't open it all the way. And I had to put a
Yeah.
broom back there to get to it. And I cleaned out that thing and I found at least 6 bags of breadcrumbs in there.
Yeah.
And it was like, why? Why do I have this many breadcrumbs? So not only am I not wasting the food now because, how old are these breadcrumbs? Am I still going to keep them? Like I use all of them before they expire.
Right.
But
Yeah.
also,
The
like,
money.
what it's just taking up space. It's taking up
Yeah.
space. And it's something, and I'm wasting money because obviously I had breadcrumbs, but
Mhm.
I kept buying them because I didn't know I had breadcrumbs. So that
Right.
organization really plays a key in just kind of making sure that we are, a little bit more balanced in that in the kitchen,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm. That we're
Um,
motivated to buy the foods that,
yes.
to prepare nutritious meals.
Yeah, yeah. And you have that space to promote good health.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Terry, what things do you do to make sure that your kitchen is stocked with healthy items? So if we're cleaning out everything and we're making sure that we get rid of maybe that old bag of chips we had in there that's, got like little bit of crumbs left in it, cleaning out all those breadcrumbs, like what kind of things do you do to make sure that kitchen is stocked with healthy items?
So always make a grocery list. That's what I do. I go through
Yeah.
and it's crazy because my organization is I have things in the bins, the clear bins so I can see. And so making a grocery list to make sure I get what I need, but then I don't let it get to the end to where I don't have any. And I
Mhm.
always tell my husband, if it's halfway gone, we need to buy some more. And so, and a lot of the things are, fresh produce and we have like the healthy snacks. But just making a grocery list, making sure we check the pantry, make sure we check the refrigerator before I shop. With the healthy snacks, if the kids get something from school that's not so healthy, I clean by throwing it away. They don't know. I mean, they put it in there because there's no food in the rooms, no food anywhere else, but the kitchen and on the island. But it's like, hey, we got some snacks in here from school. Okay, go put it in the pantry. I throw it out. They don't know, they forgot about it. They were just
Yeah.
happy to have it. But really just making sure I have that grocery list.
Yeah.
And making sure nothing ever runs out. Because in my mind, if it's halfway gone, then I need to replenish. And so that and I'll let them have not so healthy snacks, but maybe one. But
Hmm.
then we have to have fruits, two fruits to negate that unhealthy. And so that's how I kind of, keep them
Wow.
normal, but just making sure we do have the healthy produce and the healthy snacks in here too. And I also ask them, what is it that you want to eat? Because I don't want to just get healthy things and just to say we got healthy things, right? I want it to be
Hmm.
nutritious, but I want them to enjoy it as well. So
Mhm.
Right.
I incorporate them in my shopping and hey, I'm making a Sam's order. So what do y'all want to eat? Oh, I want orange in a cup. I want some peaches and some applesauce. And so I'll ask them what they want as well. So we're not wasting food, and then we go in the refrigerator and see something that's been in the back, for a while. But I typically don't have
Mhm.
that issue. It's really with
Hmm.
condiments, like
Mhm.
dressings and stuff that we don't really use. But that's how I make sure, we keep healthy snacks in the house, is really just making a list.
Hmm.
Mhm. And you
That's
just made
good.
a good point too, Terry. I mean, look with the condiments, I mean, those can get out of control very quickly. And and if you're trying to make space for some, healthier items, really clearing out some of those things is going to be beneficial to you because those are the things that just kind of stay in there, right? If you make a meal and, it gets to like 4 days or so, you're like, okay, it's time. If we didn't eat all of this 4 or 5 days, like, okay, it's time to throw it out. But those condiments tend to stay in there for a long time. So when we talk about spring cleaning, that is a really good area to focus on.
That's the first
Yes.
place, y'all. That is the
Yeah.
first on the door. Oh, what is this? My
Yep.
children's been
Yes.
here for a year. Like, why do we have it in
Yeah.
here?
A year. That's it.
A year, a
But
year?
what I've started doing too is like, especially when I open up something and, maybe it's like a tomato paste that's in the tube, which tends to last a little bit longer than like if you get a can or a jar. I'll put the date on it that I open it. I'll write it. I have a Sharpie and I'll put
Ah.
a date on
Oh,
it.
that's good.
That way, when it comes time, if it is a year, I'm like, why? Okay, this can go out the door.
Yeah.
That is helpful. But yes, I think
That is
the
helpful.
condiments is a great place to start. Look at those expiration dates. And then the next place is like your seasoning. Because if you have seasonings that have been sitting there for a year, they probably don't taste as good as they should. They probably
Hmm.
aren't giving you as much nutrients as they should. So that's another area to just kind of focus on. And I'm guilty of that too. I
Yeah.
have like 4 jars of chili powder because
Yeah.
3 jars of curry powder because every time I'm like, do we have any? And then I buy some
Yeah.
more. So yeah, just
Yeah, and
going
that's
through.
what clutter prevents you from seeing
Mhm,
what you actually have. Hey, Erin,
mhm.
there's a really good comment in the chat. I hope everybody can see it, related to clutter and the fridge, and a very creative approach to
Oh,
um how someone is dealing with that. So if everybody can look at that, it's pretty
yeah.
neat.
Oh, your own refrigerator.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
your
pretty.
husband gets lots of kudo points for that. Yay.
Yes, he gets a lot of bonus points. And I just want to say, I know we need to move on, Erin, but I wanted to say, Terry, that what I do, in addition to making a list, I have to make a list of sorts because I don't go to the grocery store that much anymore.
Mhm,
So what I mean, I eat, obviously I'm eating, but I get my groceries delivered, and that has cut back so much on me,
mhm,
perusing the aisles and picking up, oh, this, so it keeps me a little more honest than when I go to the actual grocery store to
mhm,
order it. I mean, I'm at that stage in life. You cannot justify being the age I am and ordering up a bunch of junk online. It's just, it's a more conscious, you're just more
mhm.
conscious, I think, of what you're clicking on versus, I don't know. So,
Yeah, no, I get that. And you also
mhm.
see in real time what you're spending when you're doing it
Mhm.
online
That
versus
part
like throwing
too.
stuff in the cart and then you're like, oh, did I spend that
You
much
know
at the
what?
grocery store? And it's already too late.
Because you should see me editing. Oops, I thought I wanted two of these.
Right.
I'll take one of those.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep
Keeps
my grocery bill at a certain. Yep.
Yeah.
But you know what I do? So I do the online pickup for like my big and bulk things, like my waters and the kids' waters and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. But like for
Mm-hmm.
fresh produce, I go in the store and get it myself. That's the only thing I won't let someone else pick for me. I'll pick my own produce. And I'll like, well, let them do all the heavy lifting and let them do the work. But with the in-person order, I put it in my cart as though I'm gonna purchase it online. And then when I go to the store, I just do scan and go, and everything that's in my cart to make sure I have it. I scan it, I delete it from my cart. I scan it, delete it from my cart. And so that way I keep with my, I budget, I keep with my grocery list. Put it in your cart like you're going to do an online order or a pickup order. When you're in the store, just take it off as you go.
Mm-hmm.
I like that idea. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel, I hear a theme though too with the planning though. There's a list. There's a plan.
Mm-hmm.
So making sure that
Mm-hmm.
you're going to the store with a list, that you're not
Mm-hmm.
going in the store hungry. And and I agree with
That,
you, Terry. I think with I'm one of those weirdos that likes grocery shopping. I like perusing the aisles. But I have done some deliveries and every time the produce there's like something in there that's rotten, or I'm like, how did they not see
Oh,
all this mold on this side of this
oh
orange?
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, so
I have
I
good
don't trust
experience.
the
I've had good
produce.
experiences.
Yeah. Well, that's
Hmm.
good. That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I just
Well,
don't trust it.
I
I want to
and
see it
you
for
kind of want
myself.
to see
Yeah,
it.
it's not for
You want to
Mhm.
feel
everybody.
it. Yeah, I get
Yes.
that.
Yeah,
I
it's
get
not for
that.
everybody. It's not for
Okay.
everybody.
Well, I love all these ideas around this. One last question I do have is just like what is like one go-to healthy food that you go to, especially in the springtime. Now that spring has sprung, what is one go-to item that you want in your pantry or your fridge?
Kiwi.
Yeah.
Kiwi. And I've been trying to kind of do a deep dive. And when I say a deep dive, YouTube videos. So a deep dive on kiwis, and they are so, I mean, vitamin C is through the roof. You get like more
Mhm.
vitamin C in a serving of that than you get in a medium orange. Lots of fiber. So I'm trying to do some things like a lot of people with my, digestive tract. And so kiwi, Greek salads, love that this time of the year, with a good protein,
Mhm.
and also green smoothies. That's kind of a perennial for me. I drink those throughout the
Yeah.
year, but I'm getting ready to, because it's spring, I said, I need to do something different. So I typically do flaxseed, and I've since learned that chia seeds. And I remember being at a conference with you, Erin, and you were eating some chia pudding, and I was thinking, I don't know, but I tried it. It was okay. It was it was okay. But you influenced me to even just try it. I thought I had tried it before, and I wasn't too hot on it. But I do like putting the seeds in my smoothie. So I'm getting ready to switch from flax to chia, because I have learned that the same serving, 2 tablespoons of chia, is 2 grams of fiber versus the just under 6 grams of fiber for the same amount of flaxseed. So I'm just trying to really up, as you can see, my fiber intake.
Okay. All right. Cool. Cool. And
Mhm.
then Terry, for you, what is one produce item that you have to have during the spring?
Uh, I'd say pears.
Mm.
Pears.
Pears. Oh, that's a good one.
And I
Yeah.
buy them when they're, of course, not ripe, and so they're really hard. And I let them sit in the refrigerator for a couple weeks until they get soft, and they're so soft and juicy and sweet. But I have to have my pears.
Mhm.
I just have to have my pears.
Okay.
Hmm.
I love it. I love it. So pears and kiwi. And I will tell you,
Fiber.
try the golden kiwi. For anybody that wants to
Yes.
that does the
Yes.
golden kiwi are so good.
They're
They're not
next
as bitter
level.
as the green ones.
They're next
Mm-hmm.
level. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, thank
I
you
have
for
to try
providing all those
those.
wonderful ideas around cleaning and organizing and like food choices. Spring does come with a lot more produce. The winter, we're usually in those root vegetables and as especially when it comes to like local produce. But spring, you start getting a lot of that stuff that helps with cleansing in general. So I love springtime. Love it, love it, love it. So as we think about health goals, nutrition plays a big role, but so does physical activity. And as I said, we focus a lot on both of those. So let's just for this moment, like lean into the topic of movement. All right, you guys see that there? Lean back, lean
Mm.
back. Okay. Um,
I can't dance,
as
Aaron. I can't
we-
dance. Don't ask me to dance.
Boots on the ground.
I can do that, Kisa. I can do the boots on the ground.
There you go. Well, as we emerge into the spring season, and we're in the middle of it at this point, our season for cleansing and renewal, our movement and physical activities may change a bit. They may start looking a little bit different. So, Terry, I'm going to throw this to you. If you're looking to refresh like your physical activity or movement routine, what kind of things do you need to consider?
First, the time, like the duration, what you're used to doing, maybe increase that a little bit. The intensity of it, if it's really light or you don't feel that you're getting like that oomph or that, that good deep sweat or that good cardio workout, increase the intensity of it. If you weren't doing any type of resistance training before, any type of muscle strengthening exercises, maybe add that in there, maybe some resistance bands or some hand weights. Um, let's see what else. Maybe having a partner come with you, kind of spice it up and change it up a little bit. They can kind of hold you accountable and push you as well. And then back to the hand weights and stuff. And in my seat, YL squared class, I always tell people you don't have to go out and buy anything, right? You can use a gallon of water, you can use a 16 ounce bottle of water, and that's a pound right there. But really just changing, your intensity, your duration, adding um, strength training to that or resistance training to that, and just changing it up. Maybe if you have like a step challenge per day, adding more steps to that. If your goal is like 7,500, maybe boost that up to 10K. But just changing it up any way that you can see or any way that would make it beneficial to you to where you're not getting bored, right? Change your routine. If you're a walker or a hiker, go on a different, trail, a different time of the day. If you're used to going in the morning and it just doesn't give you that, that oomph, or it doesn't, start your day the way you want to, maybe change to the afternoon. And so, all of those things to keep in mind. If you want to spruce it up, change it, maybe change the music you're listening to. Oh, and another one I thought of was change your outfit. Maybe, you lost weight, you like the way you look. Maybe another motivating thing would be, man, I look good in that little outfit, that little one piece leotard. I'm gonna, put that on, put me a mirror in the front of my gym and give that extra, motivation. So anything that you can tweak, any little change that you can do to help you boost that and to keep you going, I'd say try that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love those ideas. And I think, and when you talk about the outfits, I mean, I can totally relate to that because I remember when I started going to the gym and I got a membership and I was like, I just need to be cute. I need to feel like I'm cute and like, in my stuff and like, just look like I belong there in the gym. So I bought a lot of cheap stuff. I mean, I even went to like Goodwill for some stuff, found stuff with tags on it. To some of our
Yeah.
discount stores, found,
Hmm.
just, and I was like, oh my gosh, I just feel, but I spent a little bit more money on the shoes to make sure I had some proper shoes. But
Hmm.
it really did help motivate me because I'm like, oh, I could wear this one today. And like, then I was excited to go to the gym. So I love that. I love that piece there. So,
Hmm.
coming into the spring, especially like for you guys on the East Coast and actually most of the country, the winter was rough. There were a lot of blizzards and snow, so you may not have been going outside much. So now that the spring is coming and, maybe there's a little bit of rain, but not so much rain. And, I know the weather can be kind of unpredictable during this time, but this is the opportunity to get out now and get some vitamin D too while you're doing
Yes, vitamin D.
cleaning up your routine for the springtime. I mean, I think all of that is going to be important and just kind of feel the sun on your face, on your skin, just kind of feel the pavement under your ground, under your feet, and explore your neighborhood. I think those are really great ways to just, as we always say, walking is like the most underrated
Hmm. Yes.
movement you can do. So just get out and
Yes.
walk.
Yeah. Yes.
So
Mhm.
Terry, if you're coming, if any of our listeners are coming from a place of like no activity, what would be your recommendation to get them started?
Just to move, honestly. And you said a key thing a while ago, walking is underrated.
Mhm,
If you're used to just sitting down, walk 5 minutes, 2 minutes, or even if you're not there yet, oh, I don't want to go outside and walk, march in place. You
mhm,
know, get up, sit down, get up, sit down on your sofa, do it on your bed, or maybe you're not there yet. Maybe do some stretching, right? Maybe a YouTube video, that plethora of different things that you can do. But I'd say the key thing, the smallest thing is just to move. Maybe
mhm,
dance, right? Put on your favorite song and just dance like it's 1999 and just, have fun, but just take away, I guess, the idea of, oh, I have to exercise. And I don't think we've said it because I never say exercise.
I
I
don't
always
like
say
this.
physical.
Yeah, that's a
I
bad
say
word.
physical activity. Yeah. So
Yeah.
if you're not there yet for that physical activity, just move. Whatever movement that you do, whether it's walking to I had a participant, her physical activity was walking to her mailbox, just going down her driveway. Start
mhm,
by that. Walk around your house, walk around your apartment complex, take the stairs, at your job instead of taking the elevator. Park farther away from the store, the storefront, get a far back parking spot. Just little ways to incorporate that. But I'd
Mhm.
say the easiest, overrated, but the easiest, simplest thing that I would encourage anyone who is not physically active now is just to move, to walk.
mhm. Yeah,
Mhm.
I love that. And I especially love the idea about dancing because one thing that I
Yes.
do is when I'm cooking, I will turn the music on. Not only do I dance, but I sing very loudly, which, may not be the best thing for, my husband and my child. But I mean, but I'm in there like, "Oh, okay, this is my song. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah." And
yeah,
so, I
yeah.
mean, it just makes that whole experience so much nicer,
Mhm,
right? It's so much more
mhm.
pleasant. You're just in a good mood. So then it cooking the meal and chopping up the produce doesn't become as heavy. It's like you've kind of like softened it a little bit. But having that music and like create yourself a playlist. I love that. And then you can just dance on the dime, like, oh, I'm
Mhm,
in a mood. Let me turn on my playlist. And there
mhm.
are some songs that we all know that we have that we know we will get up and
Yeah.
start dancing, or at least
Yeah,
just shimmying those shoulders a little bit. We all have that
a little
song. So
jig. Yeah.
yes. So just make sure you have that playlist on your phone and just feel, you know what, I need to hear that playlist right now. And that can
Yes.
get you motivated, right?
Yeah.
Right. Well, Kisa, do you have anything to add to that, to what we've talked
Yeah.
about?
Yeah, I actually will. I just want to say that, and I don't know, Erin, y'all can push back on me, Terry, but it doesn't have to be big to be meaningful, especially if you're just
Mhm.
starting out. And what I mean by that is, um, in my family healthy weight program, and I've shared this with you, Erin, we have lots of nice trails and parks here in Rockdale, but where we happen to meet for this class is not near one of those. But
Mhm.
we are surrounded by sidewalks. And so sometimes I'll just say, hey, let's walk and talk. And we will just walk around this building. But the idea there is just to show them that we're walking and talking and we've gotten in 15 to 20 minutes and some steps and some movement. And when we go in for the class, we're like even more focused on the days when we don't get out in nature so I just want to say that it doesn't have to be a solid 30. I know that they have recommendations or, guidelines as to how much exercise, but it adds up. I also wanted to say, add to about the music part, y'all. I got the Tamia dance down. Okay, so a lot of times I'm trying to me. I I had boots. I got flex. So my three go tos when I'm trying to get in my I said three. My three go-tos when I'm trying to get in my step goal, which is really mine is Terry, it's 8,000. A lot of times I get 10. I got 10 yesterday, I got 10 the day before. But how I got 10 yesterday was I looked and I was like, I'm past 8. I was like at uh 8,500, but I wanted to get 10 because I was so close. But I'm
Mhm.
like, I'm trying to go to sleep, but I'm in my restroom, y'all. I'm okay Googling, play the Tamiya, can't get enough. And you can get some steps in. If you just do one cycle of like a Tamiya or a flex or boots on the ground or whatever your choice is. So
Mhm.
don't sleep online. You just those dances. You really get and kind of get into. I try to get into it to really kind of up my energy output. But
Mhm.
that's a good way to get in your steps. So, and
Yeah.
another thing, Terry, I want to say, not to dispute you. You're the physical activity guru. But you mentioned like 7,500. If you can't, for spring, if you want to kind of up the ante, go to 10,000. I just want to stress to people that might be too much for you. So go to 8,000 if you're currently getting in 7,500 steps. And if going, to 10,000 or even 9,000 seems too big, then say I'm going to increase it this spring, to 8,000 steps from 7,500. So,
And Kisa, you said something really important that we stress all the time is break it up. And you said, 10-minute
mhm.
increments. Y'all, break it up throughout the day. And with
Mhm.
DPP, we do recommend the 150 minutes per week. So we
Yes,
didn't say 30 minutes a day. We didn't say an hour a day. We said 150 minutes per week. And so if you can do 10 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes on your lunch, 10 minutes, break it up
yes,
so where it's manageable and it's not, man, I have to do 30 minutes, and sometimes that is a deterrent, but 5 minutes, 10 minutes is easier to handle and easier to manage. So thank you for saying that. It is true. Small little things. It doesn't have to be a big thing, but
yeah.
really small steps and increments.
And if you're trying to get your heart rate up for a certain, that's a whole nother thing. But we're talking about just
Right.
getting into the practice of moving our bodies. We sit a lot. They say that sitting is the new smoking. But and I will say to people that I am not coming to you like I had to get to the point where I could say, Oh, okay. Yesterday at work, I took a walk around our building. Y'all, I walk out my office and I'm on a nature trail. It's like heaven. And so I said, you know what? It's a beautiful day. The humidity's low. Go walk around the building. And I did. And I think I did like, it was maybe like 10, 12 minutes, but it was rejuvenating. There was a time, however, where I was legalistic and I was like, if I can't get in 30 minutes, I'm not going to do it.
Right.
Who's that serving? Who is that? That's not serving me you
Mhm.
know. And so I've learned that when I can get it in, I can get it in. And I do 30 minutes at a time on my treadmill or a little bit more, but I also take advantage of those opportunities to reach my goal by doing some, line dancing and also just taking a break at work to decompress and walk around the nature trail around my building. So,
Mhm. Yeah, I love that. And I love that you guys both mentioned like breaking it down because I think that makes it a little bit more realistic for people to
mhm.
achieve. And those 10-minute increments are perfect. You might only have a little break to do, a walk around or, 10 minutes because the other 20 minutes you got to eat your lunch. So I'd love hearing all the creative ways. And I'm hoping that this has sparked some inspiration in some of you who are listening. And you have some ideas now on how to refresh your physical activity and your movement for the spring. So
Mhm.
and as we've touched on these areas, they typically come up, as I said before, CYL Square programs go a little deeper so we can address the unique needs of
Yeah.
Black women. So yes, we hit on nutrition and physical activity, but the next few topics are going to focus a little bit more on what mental well-being. So let's talk finances. This is actually the focus of one of our classes in the CYL Square programs because we realize there's a connection between financial wellness and physical and emotional health. So some of
Yeah.
you may have cringed when I said finances, but we're here to make this topic a little less cringeworthy. And we'll do this one a little quickly just because we're gonna, run close to time. We got a couple more topics we want to handle. But, what I really want to hit on is like when we're talking about finances, overhauling all of our finances just kind of seems pretty overwhelming. So, what can our listeners do today, Kisa, to improve their finances?
Someone
I
that
know that's a
that
big,
I
big question.
it is a big question, but I would say take inventory. Look at what you're spending. I ask, and if I could share this, but my oldest son, who is wholly independent, yay, he's wholly independent, um, called me excited a couple of months ago, and he said, yes, he said, Mom. He said, I told you I've been meaning to just kind of look at my credit cards and see the automatic, stuff coming out of my he said, Mama, I did it. He said, I am spending, he took the time. It takes time, but he took the time to call the gym that he was paying in Virginia. Y'all, he lives in Corpus Christi, Texas. And so
Oh,
$600 a month is how much he found was going on his credit card. That tells you he's doing. Yeah, I'm so proud of him. But he is so excited, and I told him, said, now you have $600 discretionary funds because
Mhm.
it was going out, y'all, for years. So that is, I don't need to say anything else. I'll pass the look at where your dollars are going. And sometimes, it's a new season, on the calendar. It could be a new season, emotionally in your life. But look at where your dollars are going. They may not even align with your current values. Our values shift sometimes. What we hold dear and near at a certain season of our lives may be different from when we were, supporting this or that. And so just kind of take a deep dive and take the time. You're going to have to break it down because you're not going to sit down, and if you have a bunch of people that you're paying out of your credit card bill in 1 hour and get it done. But I encourage people, man, I wish I could find $600 a month.
Mhm. Mhm. Yes,
six
that's
hundred
amazing.
dollars Yeah.
That's amazing. And I
And
think
he
that
was so excited. He was so
I'm sure I
excited.
would be too.
Yeah.
Six hundred
Yeah.
dollars, like especially when you're young, you don't have like as many responsibilities. It's like, what can I do with this?
Right. Right.
Yes, I love that. And I think that is important because we have a lot of money coming out that we don't know. And I think that is different from different generations because,
Mhm.
we were balancing checkbooks. So we always knew what was going in and out. We didn't have like a credit card or bank card or debit card to just swipe all the time. And so I
It's
think
more
that has
challenging.
changed and shifted.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we got to find different ways to keep track of those things and, manage a budget, and I do want to ask you too, just in managing money, like, do you have any specific tools that you use to do that, Kisa?
Yeah, I don't I use bill pay,
Mhm.
to do our bills, but we don't have any tools. I'm analog when it comes to even I pay all my bills online and we use bill pay with our banking institution. But when I sit down to do it, y'all, I still have it's a single notebook that stays with my bills. I like to write them out and put a check, pay check, and I'm paying for one in college too. Did I get his? And I actually have to kind of, yeah. And so, but I don't have any
Okay.
specific. I don't know. Terry may have some neat
So
tools.
I
Hmm.
started laughing when you said the check because I keep an Excel spreadsheet and it
Ah,
has everything that every
wow.
single bill, the date that it's due, and a check mark for it paid. And so after it's paid, it's checked off. But they're on auto pay. However, and this is just a little plug, I pay everything on my credit card so that I could get cash back and points because if I'm going to spend money, I want you to pay me to spend money. And if I'm using your card, I want you to pay me because other people can see what your card is. And so those are all auto pay, right? But I started smiling when you said the check mark because we'll go in and then check it off that it's done.
Yeah.
But then a big thing is budget, right? And we can
Yeah.
allocate, hey, we're going to spend X amount on groceries, we're going to spend X amount on gas. But then at the end of the month, if I don't spend all of that, well, then I have a choice. I can save that, invest it, or I could splurge and kind of do some
I
discretionary
love
things like, hey,
that.
I can go eat out or
Yeah.
something. But definitely write out, like you said, write out every single thing that you're paying for so you can see where your money's going. Because if I found $600 that, at a place, that would be a big plus. And just to really know where your money is going, what you're spending it on, and you may have something that you don't even need. Like you said, your
Hmm.
morals change, your outlook change, your values change. And so if I don't need this anymore, I'm not gonna spend money on it and I can use that money for something else.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm with you, Terry. I have a spreadsheet and I, go through it and then I'm like, okay, and I put the date when I paid it. But and then when I have that extra money, it's like, okay, well then I have a little bit more to put in the savings account and I got some goals. I want to do some traveling, like I,
Exactly. That part. That part.
So I, was just kind of thinking of that. But, one of the other aspects of that can be a financial stressor is debt. And I'm going to take this topic because that I have some debt and I still have it, but I'm working through it. And a lot of it came with COVID. It was just I wasn't working and I had a newborn. I mean, we were working off of one income. So, a lot of stuff went on the credit cards during those times, even though I applied for unemployment, I didn't get it until like 8 months later.
Yeah.
So it was all that stuff went on credit cards. And so of course high interest. And then it just kind of got unrealistic that I'd be able to pay them all back. So finding ways like debt management companies or consolidation, I kind of did some research in all those areas and ended up landing on a program. It's called greenpath.com, and that's a nonprofit that actually helps to help you pay off these debts. They negotiate lower interest rates for your credit cards and payments, lower payment amount, and it doesn't affect your credit. So there's some of them, like those debt consolidation and debt management companies, that will negatively affect your credit. This
Hmm.
nonprofit does not. And then they
Oh,
provide
wow.
financial counseling and all of that stuff. And I will say it again, greenpath.com, because I know
Thank
some of us
you.
just need
Yes.
some help. And so, that is just one way to kind of go out there and seek that help. Now, and it's also another thing is like, don't be afraid to ask for help. Like, if you are
Hmm.
struggling financially and you can't pay your rent, and there are so many services out there locally and nationally that will help you, like pay your rent, your utility bills, get some assistance for food. So in those cases, there are so many ways to get help with that. So we
Hmm.
just kind of thinking of that and, understanding that there is an out.
Yeah,
But yeah,
there
yeah.
is an out. And,
Hmm.
Erin, I want to piggyback off of that because when you were talking about the debt, we don't have a lot of debt right now, our home. But we also, if I can kind of overshare here, our savings were depleted. I mean, last year, y'all, we had like three major things that happened, like one, two, three. The good news is that we had the savings to take care of it. The bad news is that it drained our savings. So I wanted to just say to anyone who is out there dealing with rebuilding savings or just starting from scratch with savings or feel like you're swimming, upstream, don't give up. Because sometimes I get down about it. I'm like, dang, we had it. We had a good little thing going and then, boom. But, we can't hope has to be our ally. It has to be
Yeah.
our best friend. We cannot give up hope. I know things are kind of wonky right now with the economy, but just stay true to it, y'all. Get creative. Don't beat yourself up. Just keep swimming.
Yeah. And it's
And
always
Keisha,
thinking about that need versus want, right?
Mm. Hmm.
and I was gonna say the last thing, and when you said it with the savings, it made me think of the 50-30-20.
Mm.
50% of your income goes to the necessities, which you need to survive, your
Hmm.
mortgage, your rent,
Hmm.
insurance, utilities, food, grocery, gas, all the things.
Hmm.
30% or 20, you can kind of use them interchangeably, but 30% for discretionary things like your wants, things that you
Hmm.
don't really need to survive, but those comfort things like going eat out or, going to the movies and just living life, right? And then that 20% or 30, depending on how you want to use it. But that last 20% you use for your savings to build yourself, right? To pay yourself for a rainy day, like I like to say, a rainy day fund. Or you can
Hmm.
use 10 per the 20, divide that into two, use 10% to pay yourself to save, and then use the
Hmm.
other 10 to maybe pay down some other debt that you have. And so you're
Hmm.
still, 50% goes to all the necessities, 30% for
Hmm.
your discretionary, your your wants to keep you comfortable, and then that 20% building your
Hmm.
savings back up or paying like a high interest and paying down that debt down. So
Hmm.
50, 30,
50,
20.
30, 20. Got it.
Okay. Love it. Love it. Love it. I mean, and again, this can be a very stressful topic. And we definitely want to make sure that we're addressing this when we talk about, spring cleaning and health and wellness goals, right? Because that is something that can affect that as well.
I'd
So
like
we're
to
going to
add
move into
something.
another top. Oh,
Oh,
sorry,
oh,
go ahead.
oh, okay. Are we moving on?
Well, we're going to move on just for time's sake.
Okay.
Hey,
Hi, I have some.
Nambi. But we'll say hi to Nambi, Coach Nambi. How you doing? Hey.
I want to
Because we want
contribute
Hey.
like
we want to
five
get into
seconds,
your
like
yeah, yeah,
10
go ahead. Go
seconds.
ahead. Go ahead.
So I paid off $20,000 in debt from the IRS. I had IRS debt and credit card debt. I had IRS debt from my self-employed endeavors and entrepreneurial endeavors, and
Hmm.
because of that, credit card debt because I was trying to keep up.
Yeah.
So I just want to share a couple of tips in terms, and I paid, girl, ladies, I paid it off. And my
Hmm.
commitment to myself was that I would not have any more credit card debt, that I would have good
Hmm.
debt. So I learned how to use it to better, to, to leverage. So as Coach
Leverage.
Terry was saying, leverage your points, leverage your, whatever that is for you. For
Hmm.
me, it's points because
Hmm.
I'm a travelista. So it's
Hmm.
points, but that didn't come till paying it off. So I just want to add a couple of things. Systems, whatever that system is that works for you, systems, putting it
Hmm.
into it, whether it's auto pay your bills, whether it's
Hmm.
having a spreadsheet. If it works for you, if it's old school, it works for you, but being consistent with your systems. I also like to
Hmm.
do the auto pay, and auto pay took me a while to trust because I was like, what if it's not there? And it would cause me stress. But then I was like, well, you make sure it's there. So I auto pay to auto pay. So I have a bill paying account that I put
Hmm.
money. So along with the, you know, she said 50, what did you say, 50, 30, 20?
50,
So
30,
with
20.
my
Hmm.
50,
Hmm.
it's auto paid into that bill account, and then that's auto paid into my bills. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
So that's my
Yeah.
system. That way, it because I have several different entrepreneurial things, and it's just it's harrowing to try to keep up with everything. But then it's even more harrowing to get that late charge on your already
Right.
didn't do.
Yes.
So the systems, I auto and auto and auto, and then I have buckets. So in my savings, high yield savings account, I have buckets where one is for that, I don't do bills. I just do goals. So if want to, whatever we want to purchase, and then I have things for activities. Well, I want to do some more traveling. So there's that. Paying into my IRA because I don't have a typical traditional IRA. So paying into that. And then there's uh, my fancy stuff, things that I want, my fancy account. I put some fancy stuff in there. So that way, and one more thing, the way this works, it's a line item. So that every month, because I have intermittent income, so every month it's treated like a bill. Even if it's $15 or $20, it's treated like a bill. So that months that I'm doing really well, it goes in. Months that I'm not, it's still a bill and it goes in. So that gives me some consistency in terms of the planning. Does that make sense to
I
everybody?
love that. Yes.
So
So
that
good.
way, I'm a performer. I have lots of different streams of income, but they are inconsistent. They are, they're not consistent. So when I know this bill is going to be this bill, no matter what, on those lean times, it still goes in. On those heavy times, it still goes in. And then if there's extra, like you were saying, I can do some extra fancy stuff. If it's not extra, it's still a bill. So those are just my 2 cents. Consistent systems that work for you that you're going to follow. That's really mainly it's what can you do that you're committed to doing that's not going to hurt. That's not going to feel like it's not going to cause you stress. That's my 2 cents.
I love that,
Love
Niambi.
that.
Wow.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I think for sake of time, we're going to just skip right on to self-care. And I think it's perfect transitions that Niambi's here for us because she's like the queen of self-care. Um, so before, like in just like a few words, what does self-care mean to you? What does that look like for you, Niambi?
Woo! Can I tell you a little story?
Sure.
I'll tell you a little story. Give me some time. Give me a time frame. How much time do I have?
Well, so let me just put this out here. We have 8 minutes left on this call. Now,
Okay.
if people who are listening can hang on for a few more minutes, then we'll just continue the conversation. Okay?
Okay.
All right,
I'll
so
make
go
the
for
story less than a minute. So I am coming from somewhere else. I had another assignment, and I was in my mind preparing for this, trying to like, okay, what are my speaking points? Like getting myself transitioning from that moment to this moment. While I was driving, there was a major situation that happened at the location I was, and I ended up getting in an accident.
it. Oh no.
My fault. I backed into someone because there were so many things going on. They had the ambulance there, they had the fire people there. There was a lot going on. I backed into someone. I'm an excellent driver. That's not me. I'm not that person. I literally hit his car. So I had to stop, get out the car, the stuff. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm going to be extra late to the late than I was always going to be. Oh, and I felt myself going there. I said, well, this is perfect. This is perfect. This is a perfect opportunity to use what I preach. There it is. So I started to, start to drive fast. And I said, wait. Here's the opportunity right here. Take a breath. What can you do? All right. Don't rush. Stop it. Don't get another accident trying to be on, listen, just breathe. And I used my self-care tools to bring myself home. And I came in, I took a couple of breaths. I made my matcha latte, drank,
Wow.
had my different teas. I said, okay, just get your teas, and sit down and be present. And so I share the story. Was it under a minute?
Sure.
Because that is self-care.
Yeah.
In that moment where my heart starts to, start to pump through my shirt, and I start sweating. That's how I know. I start sweating. My underarms, my shirt got. I was like, oh, I can't. I gotta change my shirt for the thing. Honey, I didn't change my shirt. Y'all can't see me. Whatever. I didn't change my shirt. But the stress, I could feel it rising, and I started. Oh, I said, wait. What can you do right now? So when we talk about self-care, there's so many things that we know to do that are kind of umbrella, like a blanket things. But I feel like self-care are using the tools to keep us regulated and balanced and in a state of equilibrium, to keep us in control of our response, to keep us, uh, they give us, I would say, mastery, if we will, over our circumstance. How do we respond? How do we enter into, how do we engage with our life in the moment in ways that'll keep us regulated? And so it's one thing to say, okay, I'm going to go meditate in the morning. I'm going to do my Reiki in the afternoon. I'm going to go to my yoga class in the evening. It's another to say, oh, this person is really getting on my nerves. Or, oh, this situation, my heart is beating. Oh, I'm sweating. My armpits are dripping. Wait, what's going on? Check in. Where am I? Why? What's that? What do I need right now? It might just be sit down and take a sip of water. It might be just take a moment, go into the bathroom. Like to be able to choose those tools from your toolbox that you need in the moment to help you to manage whatever you're going through. So yeah, we can talk about all the big, large, engulfing things that we know to do. We know, but I feel like it's in this situation, in this world, and where we are in the world right now. There's so many things coming at us from all different angles. And there's so many ways that there's underlying stress. It's in the zeitgeist, it's in the bowl, the fishbowl we're swimming in. It's all around us. Our attention is being pulled on. There's so many stressful and painful and disturbing things, images that we're consuming.
Yeah.
And if we're not careful, the residue of that will cause kind of an underlying level of stress. Your shoulders will be tight, or your jaw will be tight, or you're walking around cranky, or you're feeling unsafe, or whatever those things are that show up in you, to be able to at some point understand that language in yourself and say, whoa, hold on, I need a nap. Or if I can't take a nap, let me just go to the car for 3 minutes. You know what I mean? But whatever that is, to be able to identify that is the highest form of self-care. I need to go pray or meditate or walk around the block. That's my quick answer.
I love it. I mean, I love it because it gives a different perspective of it. Because I think when people think of self-care, I mean, you think of, oh, I'm gonna get a massage or I'm gonna get a manicure or pedicure. But I think it just goes so much deeper than that. And even all the topics that we talked about today can be kind of mastered under self-care, right? All of them apply to self-care. If we had the Venn diagram, it would be like self-care in the middle and all these things around it. No, it could just be hundreds of things. But I love that concept of kind of honoring yourself and knowing yourself and understanding yourself. Like, what I mean? And I think it brings everything back to you, right? And how you are presenting yourself in this world. And I did this class um, and it was like a community wellness kind of mental health class, and they brought up the topic of self-care, and they presented this new idea to me too that I had never heard of. But it was, yes, you do things that make you happy, that fulfill you, bring you joy, but it's also about how you're talking to yourself in those moments too. So, and it kind of relates to what you were talking about is like, stopping because like this person's getting on my nerves. And so are you going to start, spiraling out of control thinking about that? Or are you going to do something, like puzzle? I love doing puzzles. And I was like, yeah, you know what? Sometimes when I'm doing a puzzle, I'm not enjoying that moment because I'm like, oh gosh, I'm thinking about what I did yesterday and like how I didn't achieve my goals, or I did, something on Zoom and I could have spoken a little bit better. And so you have all these negative things going through your head. So instead, you're doing these things that are fulfilling, that are joyful, but you also are paying attention to that self-talk and how you are appreciating yourself and, finding yourself worthy of good things. So I love that. Love that. Love that.
Erin, I love that you said that.
Yes.
I want to add on that. That makes me think of something. This is trending. Everyone's saying, find your peace. Don't let nobody disturb your peace. Peace, peace. How many people know what peace feels like? It's important to understand. A lot of us never had peace. A lot of us don't even understand what that vibration of peace feels like. So, a lot of us are combative, or we're in a state of stress and our behavior, our default is unpeaceful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like it's important for us to find our peace. What does that feel like when you're not? Some of us are very uncomfortable when we're not stressing or striving or achieving or doing or fixing or managing. We're very
Uh,
uncomfortable, you
uh,
know? So learning what that means for you and maybe getting help around, can I be okay being okay? And when you're able to find your peace, like, oh, wait, that's a different level of peace. And then you can use that as a barometer. So when you're engaging with others, you can say, oh, wait, I'm out of alignment right now. Whoa. To be honest, many of us are chaotic and we bring that. Not any of us, of course, not us, but a lot of us, a lot of us have a hard time. A lot of us have a hard time even feeling a level of without stress, you know? So that's work for us to do in terms of what does it feel like when when I'm not worried or
Mm-hmm.
when I'm not figuring something out? Can I be in that space? And then cultivating that space. And from there we can know what environments disrupt that. Because some of us seek environments that are stressful because we feel more comfortable in that.
mhm.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like when you say the self-talk, woo, that's us. The self-talk is always with us. I love that because especially if we're a type A personality, we're perfectionists, or we're that,
Hmm.
strivers, gotta get it right. We're
Yes.
constantly talking about it and then reflecting, oh, did I do that right? Can I set that? Can I have said that
Yeah.
different? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Uh, Self-monitoring in a negative way. So
Hmm.
learning to be like, oh, it's okay, baby. You're all right, honey.
Hmm.
Or talking to ourselves
Mm-hmm.
like our most beautiful loved one. It's okay,
Hmm.
sweet. But learning tools
Mm-hmm.
that help us really understand what peace even feels like. And then when it's disturbed, then you have to say, oh, no, no, I don't want to be over there with you. I'm going to stay here. Thank you, though.
Hmm.
Well,
Hmm.
we're certainly going to have you demonstrate one of those tools in just a second, but I do want to ask you, like, how can how can we make sure that we're taking time for self-care? Like, how can we build it into our daily routines?
Put it on your calendar like everything else.
Hmm.
Right.
So simple.
Everybody
Yeah.
in here has a calendar. How many of us are on that calendar?
And I think first deciding, Coach Niambi, what is it that you want? What does self-care mean for you? I am a journaler. That may not be everybody's thing. So first identifying what is self-care to you? What does that look like? I have like a morning routine, and the fact that I'm doing it most of the time now, it used to be, it's kind of like they say, it's not what you do some of the times, it's what you do most of the time. I do it most of the time, so now when I don't do it, I'm not stressed, but I used to be stressed because I wasn't doing it much at all. But now I have such a routine, and I realize that life is going to life, and there are going to be some mornings, and I don't even try it. The other morning I had to be somewhere at a meeting at 7:30 yesterday morning. And so I just said I'm not going to do my typical, routine. I did something, but determine what it is that brings you peace, that centers you, that means self-care to you. I think that's where you
Mhm.
start.
I definitely agree. Everything we talked about is self-care.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Taking care of yourself.
Mm-hmm. You're
Self-care
right.
it's all self-care because if you
Mm-hmm.
so I like to encourage my participants and my clients to find their pleasure. That's a big deal with me. Making life pleasurable. What turns you on? What do
Mm.
you really enjoy? What lights you up? And
That's what I
finding
was
more of
saying.
that thing.
Yes. Yeah.
However, bills don't light me up. Paying bills don't light me up. But the mastery, the knowing where my money goes, there's a
Yeah.
peace in that.
Yeah.
But I don't like it. Like,
Mhm.
it's not pleasurable, but the outcome is pleasurable. And I think that's
Mm.
also part of self-care in a parental way, in a way that it's a discipline. So in
Mm-hmm.
discipline, there's self-care. It's not as
Mm-hmm.
pleasurable, but to me, the outcome of knowing, oh, I can go and travel when I want. I can buy this ticket, or I know that I have the peace of knowing my bills are going to be paid
Mm-hmm.
is pleasurable. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like there is discipline, systems, and as you said, like a morning routine. that's part of your discipline now. And
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't mean that you don't sometimes lives, but that it's now it's a
Mm-hmm.
non-negotiable part.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And I think, in order for us to be truly healthy, we have to focus on us because, I mean, I'm sure you guys have all heard the superwoman complex. And,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, just how we feel like we have to excel at everything. And, we're taking, care of everybody and all the things. And we're trying to handle all the things. And then we're trying to excel at our careers.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's just no balance, and so like the self-care
Mm-hmm.
just goes out the window. So it's really understanding that you are worthy
Yeah.
of your own attention.
Mm-hmm.
You are
Mm-hmm.
worthy of
Mm,
all the good things that are happening in your life. And and
mm,
this is something I've had to work through myself, just kind of feeling, a little, I'm just get down on myself, or just not real confident about something that I've done. And it's just like, but it's okay. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's all okay. And taking those things that I think are failures and turning them into learning experiences and ways that I
Right.
can do better. I mean, that's all part of the process, but just also understanding that, I mean, I'm worth it. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm worth the attention that I need to give myself. I really am.
Yeah.
So that's been hard, and when you have little kids, like, and you
Yeah.
get married or something, I mean, it's just your attention just goes everywhere else. And
mm-hmm,
then at the end of the day, you're like, well, who am I? And so that
Mm-hmm.
is a part of the process is just rediscovering who you are and what you need to feel joy and to feel fulfilled.
I was
And
in
if I can
Aaron, you kind
add,
of Mhm.
oh, go ahead, Kisa.
No, you go. I can go after you.
Oh no, I was gonna say because I used to be one of those women, right? I wanted to, and maybe it's the Aries in me, but I wanted to be the best at everything that I'm in, right?
Mm-hmm.
I always would say it has to be perfect. I don't know why, but everything had to be perfect, and I had to come to the realization that wait a minute, nothing in life is perfect. We are not perfect, right? And so another thing I say now is we're expendable. We only have one
mm-hmm,
body. We only have one life. And so remembering to give myself grace. And now I share that
Yeah.
with everybody. Give yourself grace because
Yeah.
everything will work out the way it's supposed to be. You are put here for a reason and a purpose. And everything happens for a reason and a season. People come into your life for you to learn from them or for you to teach them something, right?
Mm.
And Aaron, you just said like challenges, take things as challenges. And so if it is a challenge, what am I supposed to get out of this, right? What is it supposed to teach me? What am I supposed to take in to grow to be a better person, right? And so just remembering we can't do it all. We are humans in a world full of other humans. So that tells me someone else is here to help get me to where I need to be. They have the resources that I need, whatever, whether that's a companionship, relationship, or support, accountability. They
mm-hmm,
have what I need to get to the next step. And just remembering I have support, right? If it's not your husband, if it's not your spouse, your partner, your church members, your family from church, your coworkers, we have people all around us to help us to get where we need to be. And just remembering if you're that superwoman, you don't have to do it all, right?
Yeah.
Rely on your support. Don't feel ashamed or don't feel down or look down upon yourself if you're relying on other people for support or asking for help, right? Receiving the help, taking the help, and just remembering we're just one person, right? We're just
Right.
one person. It doesn't have to be perfect. We just need to give our best, put our best foot forward, but we cannot do that if our self-care is at the bottom, right? We need to prioritize ourselves, making sure we're good spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, so that we can go out and be our best selves to other people. So just remembering, give yourself grace, people.
Hmm.
Give yourself grace.
grace,
I
grace,
love that.
grace,
Absolutely.
grace,
Love
grace,
that.
grace.
Yeah.
And if you don't have, if you
Mm.
if you don't have support to cultivate that team, because not everybody has access. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I think we have access. Well, sometimes I think a lot of us have a problem receiving.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And I feel like if we don't build that team, just like you have a doctor, you have your hairstylist, you have your nail person, you have your bestie,
Mm-hmm.
what have you, having a therapist. having a pastor or someone, a spiritual, someone that you can talk to, having friends, if you don't, to cultivate those relationships that you do have support. But just like we build a team for our other types of care or for our family, to build that board of directors for ourselves that we can go to.
Yeah, I love that.
We need help.
Yeah.
I love
And
that.
if I
Yeah.
can
That's a
add
great
one more
concept.
thing, oh, I'm sorry, if I can add one more thing. You said family, Coach Naomi, and your family does not have to be your blood relatives, right? Your family could be your high school friend that you've been friends with for 30 years. That's your family. That's not even your sister anymore. Your kids call,
Yes.
that person and they call them
Right.
uncle. And so
Absolutely.
your family is who you make it, right? It doesn't have to be biological or blood family. It's your
Yeah.
neighbor, who you love and who love you. And so you make your own family. If you don't have that support from at home, because I know, that's not the reality for everyone, make your own family. They don't have to be
Mm-hmm.
blood to be family. Make your own family.
Good point.
Very
Yeah.
good.
Good
Very
point.
good point. Yeah. Well,
Mm-hmm.
this has been a very good conversation, and I know we could talk about self-care forever.
Yes.
I think we probably all have something to add to it on multiple levels. But I do want us to just have some time. I know we're a little bit over, but just I really do want to have Niambi just kind of, as I said, show us one of the techniques to help us just center ourselves and make sure that we are taking that time for
Mm-hmm.
self-care.
Mm-hmm.
So Niambi, it's all on you,
Yeah.
girl.
So let me. Okay, once again, give me how much time do I have?
You as much time as you need.
I got to know because it helps me here.
5 to 10 minutes, I guess. I don't.
Okay. Okay. Let me just set a little timer for myself. Okay.
I love that.
So let's before we begin, can I just get a round? I just want to know. You can no, don't put it in the chat. Just let me say it. What would you guys, what you ladies like to focus on right now? What is it that you would like to experience right now in terms of your
Yeah. Put that in the
what we're
chat.
talking about? You can chat it or say it. I just want to know how to direct. I have some things in my ready, but I wanted to know, I want to address presently where we are. What do you feel like? Do you want to be energized? Do you want to feel relaxed a little bit? Do you want to ground yourself and feel maybe a little more peace? Tell me what you want.
Somebody said peace,
Peace. Okay.
grounded.
Grounded. Okay. Okay.
I'd like to feel less tension in my body. And
Where
it's
do you
not
feel
because
tension?
of this webinar. This has been a highlight, but just a lot, I'm experiencing a lot of new things with a new job. And so I think I'm carrying that stress in my shoulders, my back.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that. Anyone else? Anything else in the chat? Work out to reduce anxiety. Okay. How many of us feel anxious on a regular, are aware of anxiety on a regular basis? Are aware of it in our bodies?
I can tell when I'm getting anxious. My body, I
Mm-hmm.
can feel it. I'm sweating.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fidgety,
Mm-hmm.
agitated.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell when it's coming.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I'm a little mean-spirited.
Yeah. No, me
Thank you
I
for
too.
said
admitting that.
irritated. That was my nice
Irritated.
word to say
Irritated,
mean
huh?
spirited. I'm a little
Yeah, that.
irritable,
Yes.
You get a
Yeah.
little cranky, a little hangry, a little cranky, a little bit.
a little a
Okay.
little
Yeah.
a little Grinch.
A little
Mhm.
And
Grinch,
just
little
the
Grinchly and
inability to
grumpy.
focus.
Ability to focus.
And
Is that what you think?
thank you, Terry. Irritable is such a
Yeah.
better
I
word.
I like
Because I'm not
Grinchly and
mean.
grumpy. I
I'm
like
not
Grinchly and
mean.
grumpy. No? Okay. Okay. My husband and I, we sit around making up silly
And
words.
somebody said that they're
Oh,
right.
fight or
What?
flight.
Somebody said in the chat, my body is constantly in fight or flight, so I do
Yeah.
not always feel it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That I'm looking for that. Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that.
Sympathetic. Yeah.
Yes, so many of us are in a constant state of fight or flight, and it becomes our default. And that's what I mean about peace. If our peace is fight or flight, we don't even know what peace. We're walking around grinchly and grankly and crankly and grumpy and not even realizing it because that's where we live.
Mm.
So, okay. So what I want to do I'm going to do a breathing exercise. And I just want to, this is something we can do anywhere. What do you move out of okay, negative living environment. Okay, so there's an environment, an external environment, and an internal environment. One of them we have control over. All right. The external environment, we have a bit of control over that, but oftentimes we really don't. We can't always control what other people or things are doing. We can control our response to them. We can control our physical proximity to them, and we can control how we regulate our own nervous system in the midst of chaos. That's our internal environment, and that's what we always have control over. So in that, you want to feel grounded, you want to feel peace. Primarily, I would say for most of us, the stress is going to show up first in the shoulders, with the fight or flight, in the shoulders, in the jaw, and in our gut. And the gut part, we're not always aware of it, but maybe you get a little gassy, maybe you'll eat, maybe your appetite will decrease, maybe it'll increase, maybe you feel a tightness or something that's just, those are signals. And like I said, when we're used to living within that environment, sometimes we start to ignore the signals and they just become default. That's just how I feel today. Yes, I have an attitude because you get on my nerves, and things begin to escalate from that point. So I want us to first, if I'm going to give a takeaway, to begin to listen to yourself, to question, oh, honey, what is that? Why do you feel that way? Ask yourself, what is going on? What are you trying to tell me? Gently, sweetheart, what do you need? What are you saying? And let your body start to tell you. Become well versed in the language of your body. What is it that those symptoms, because those are now symptoms. And when we have chronic symptoms, they lead to chronic illness. But the subtle symptoms start way before that. So somebody said, I need to leave a negative living environment. So you already know that living environment is affecting you. Yes. Okay, so what steps can you take to move yourself out of that? However, until that can happen, what internal signals do you have to address? Can you address to keep yourself regulated so that you don't so that it doesn't turn into a chronic situation? One thing we have control over is our breath, and the breath is a really powerful regulator. So I want to give us a quick breathing exercise that we can always do. I would say if you're driving, probably don't do it, but you can do it inside I did it today on the way here when I was driving. Honestly, I did it on the way. But, make sure you don't take it, what to do. Don't put yourself at risk. Okay. So if you're sitting, I want everyone to sit. Place your feet firmly on the floor. And firmly see if you can feel all four corners of your feet. Imagine your feet are like cars, and you have four wheels, and all four wheels are planted, grounded into the earth. Okay? Yes. And now, as you plant your feet, you are planting into the earth. Imagine that you are planting your feet into the earth. And out of your feet, you're sprouting roots down to the core of the earth. You're sprouting those roots. And you're anchored into the earth. You belong here. Okay. Now, as you are grounding yourself, grounding your roots into the earth, imagine that you are sitting, coming out of your bottom, your root chakra, is a cord. It can be as wide as a tree trunk or as small as you want it. And that cord is also grounding to the center of the earth. Grounding you to the center of the earth. You are grounded. You belong here. Out of that cord, you are releasing anything that is just not working, anything toxic, anything sad, anything that's making you feel out of balance. You want to release that down to the center of the earth through that cord. Imagine that the cord is reaching down to the very, very center of the earth where it's molten hot lava, and anything negative gets burnt up in that fire, in that lava. It's just being eradicated. So you're letting it exit and become eradicated, letting it exit and become eradicated. You belong here. Through the roots of your feet, allow the earth to nourish you, and that nourishing energy is coming up through your feet, all the way up your legs, all the way up your body, moving through you, giving you the nourishment that you need, the balance, the calmness, the centeredness. Yes, 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 yes. Now, with each exhale, with each inhale, bring that energy of nourishment into your body. Let it rise. With each exhale, you want to release any toxic energy that you've been holding down through that cord. Beautiful. On your next inhale, I want you to squeeze the shoulders into your earlobes like earrings. Really squeeze them up tight. And with the next few rounds of breath, see if you can get them even tighter, tighter, tighter. See if you can touch your earlobes with them. Squeeze them hard, squeeze them tight, squeeze them hard, squeeze them tight. Keep the breath, keep the shoulders up. You're going to keep them up while you're breathing. Just keep them up. Squeeze until they shake. Keep breathing, but keep the shoulders up. Keep them up, keep them up, keep them up. Keep breathing, keep them up. Now, on this next inhale, I want you to inhale more. Squeeze them tighter, squeeze them tighter, squeeze them tighter. Inhale more. And now, we'll let them drop. Yes, good, 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 good. Roll them back 3 times. All right. On the 3rd or 4th time, if it feels good, drop them back. Lift your chest, headlights lifting up. You might notice that that feels a little awkward because we mostly sit a little rounded, and especially for women, we have a lot of weight in the front. So I want you to really squeeze those lats, squeeze those shoulder blades behind you so that your headlights are lifted. And remember that this is your posture. This is your aligned posture. Drop the shoulders, drop the shoulders, drop the shoulders. Yep, 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 yep. Pull the navel in. Good. Okay. Take your right finger or left finger. Take a finger. I want to do a quick box breathing exercise. You can do this with or without your finger. The finger just gives you a mental meditation as you do it. So pointing forward, we're going to inhale. I want to start. Okay, so I'll demonstrate. We're going to inhale up the box for 4 counts. Hold it as you cross for 4 counts. Exhale down for 4 counts and come around. Okay, we'll start with 4 and we'll gradually increase. I won't increase it too much. All right, so let's begin. So we're going to inhale through the nose, exhale through an imaginary straw. Okay? All right, let's begin. Pointing our finger. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. Hold the breath. 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath out. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath in. 2, 3, 4. Exhale out. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath out. Inhale through the nose only. Hold the breath. Pull the navel in to the spine. Exhale. Navel into the spine. Hold it. Navel into the spine. Inhale. Hold it. Exhale, navel into the spine. Hold it out. Inhale slower. 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. And hold. Last time. Inhale. Hold it. Exhale. Hold it. And release. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Yes, yep, yep, yep. Any areas that need a little release, shake them out. Thank you, ladies. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I think we all kind of needed that right now.
Yeah.
I know some people have hopped off. I'm happy that some of you have stayed. And thank you, Nambi, for that nice, peaceful end to our conversation, and especially like digging in that self-care piece because it's much needed. So thank all of you guys for coming. I love just being in your presence and sharing ideas and helping everybody else, other people. Because, we are like you guys who have been in the program or who are looking at maybe possibly entering the program because we've been there. We've been through the struggles. We've gone through all of these things that you have as well. And so we're just sharing our techniques, our strategies that have helped us overcome some of the challenges we've faced with our health. So thank you everybody who's watching. I hope you learned a thing or two today about spring cleaning for your health. And if you are interested in learning more about our CYL squared programs that we offer at the Black Women's Health Imperative, and you want to have one of these ladies possibly be your coach, you can visit us at bwhi.org.org/CYL2. And if somebody could put that in the chat, I would appreciate that. But thank you. Thank you all for coming. This has been recorded and you will get a copy of this. So if you need to reflect back on any of the things that you have learned today, you can do so. We appreciate you. We appreciate all of you guys. And just want to leave you with this. You guys are worthy of taking care of yourself, worthy of spring cleaning for your health and reaching and achieving your health goals, however that looks like for you. Okay. Until next time, have a wonderful evening, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Bye.
It's great. See y'all later.